Yeah, Burton entered tonight's game at Honaker, winners of 5 in a row. The Tigers, meanwhile, coming off their first loss of the season on Monday night, had a short week to get ready for the hot Raiders. I have no idea what that line meant about Sierra Mist, but I like it. I'm
Sierra Mist, not Sierra Mist. Sierra Mist, the three-headed dog.
Casey gets with you here. We are just over 90 minutes away from kickoff between ETSU and Kennesaw State, the first football game for ETSU in 12 years.
I just moved here from the state of Kansas, so as you could probably imagine, I've heard my fair share of jokes about the Wizard of Oz. But for the Henderson Racing Team, which is based in Abington, it's no joke. There really is no place like home at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Big Stone Gap is a long way from Clark County, so the Bears, they left on Friday. They broke up the trip by stopping here at VMI to hold their final practice ahead of Saturday's state semifinal game against the Eagles.
It wasn't the storybook ending Marion was hoping for. The Scarlet Hurricane going to second, and the Class 2A State Volleyball Tournament.
I think ticket sales for this North Carolina game went up even more than already, knowing this would be the last time Frank Beamer ran out onto the field at Lane Stadium.
On the first day, pretty good day for Southwest Virginia. There are 4 schools here, 6 total teams.
We decided just to kind of invade the student section here because a lot of students showed up for this ball game.
Friday Night Huddle.
Welcome into another edition of Friday Night Huddle. I'm Casey Getz alongside Heather Williams. The big game this week was in Richlands. Abington putting their undefeated record on the line against a 1-loss Richlands team. It was senior night for the Blue Tornado. Abington looking to get to 8-0 on the season. Early first quarter, second possession for Abington. Jake Sturgill to Jeff Wallace. They get the ball inside the 20, but the drive would stall. Here's a field goal attempt by Abington. It is wide to the right. Game stays scoreless. Richlands now with the ball. John Luke Asbury to Cody Howie. Look at that catch by Howie. Then later, Asbury to Chance Collins for the touchdown. Richlands takes a 7-0 lead. Abington's next possession, deep in their own end. Sturgill, he'll be picked off by Collins, but Richlands did not score after that turnover. Second quarter we go. Tornado with the ball again. Asbury finds Max Yates, 34-yard touchdown. Richlands blows out Abington 56-21, handing the Falcons their first loss of the season.
After starting the season 0-6, Gate City has a chance to make the postseason. Yes, you heard that right. After starting the season 0-6, the Blue Devils are still in the mix for a playoff spot, but they have no margin for error. Starting tonight on the road at John Battle, we start with Gate City. It's Matthew McClug on the handoff. He'll cut back and take it 45 yards for the touchdown, 7-0 Gate City. Then it's John Battle's Matthew Tipton going from the end zone, but Tyler Hamilton is there for the pick. And then finally, Hunter Collier rolling out. You know, he was our player of the week. Finding the end zone. He has better luck. Isaac Slayer for the 20-yard touchdown. Gate City wins big, 41-7.
Wood Brothers back to victory lane at Bristol Motor Speedway.
And the wheels go round and round. Welcome to a special Bristol Blackout edition of It's Bristol, baby. Often you have to run down these drivers. Everybody thinks you just walk up to a driver and do an interview. It's not that simple, is it?
No, they have PR people on PR people on PR people. It's very tough to get an interview with a driver, but you seem to have gotten one, and you didn't have to go through many hoops, did you?
Exactly, because I decided to go old school with Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace.
I'm leading the race. Jeff Gordon's behind me, and he's about 4 car lengths back. Checkered flag's waving right now. I'm looking at my mirror, and I bomb it down in here to turn 3, going to win this thing.
I know it's one of those races that smaller racing teams like yourself kind of circle on the calendar. Do you feel that when you come to Bristol that it's a race that anyone can win, in a place where you can maybe steal a win?
You know, it is a place that's an opportunity race for smaller teams.
Is that a fair explanation?
It seems like it. He was saying that they've had enough money to run as a top 10 team, yet they're not running as a top 10 team.
Dave making the entrance of a lifetime on a chariot. And here he comes.
I'm so jealous.
With mask and everything. Dave Dirks with his forecast coming up.
Welcome into another edition of Prep Picks. I'm Casey Getz alongside Heather Williams and Jim Sacco, sports editor of the Bristol Herald Courier. Guys, last week we all went 4-1, so no change in the standings. Jim and I, 2 games up on Heather as we head into mid-October.
Yes, but I have a plan this week to make up those 2 games.
She has a plan, Jim. Let's get to that plan. Virginia High at Abingdon. Any chance the Bearcats pull off the shocker?
There's always the chance, but I mean, there's so many weapons with Abingdon. A lot of people say this team starts and ends with Jake Sturgill, quarterback, but timeout. Matthew Fulton is just a Mack truck runner. His emergence has been fantastic for the Falcons. I think they're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah, I agree. Just too many weapons for Abingdon. I'm picking the Falcons as well.
Yeah, you got to love their balance at the high school level. It's something you don't see very often. Team can run and throw with the balance that Abingdon does. So I'll take the Falcons. Back in 2012, you were suspended for the season, though. You were convicted for driving while intoxicated, misdemeanor charge. You were away for that season. What did you learn being away from the sport and the team that you love for a season?
Made a horrendous mistake back there in 2012, but just like I tell our players every year, 2 types of players play this game. 2 types coach it. Those are humbled, those are about to be. 2012 was a very humbling experience, but also a very gratifying experience for me to have to sit back and be away from something that I truly loved. Honestly, it truly changed my life and has made me appreciate so many more things, even more than the game of baseball, so much more. So I took a negative and 100% think it turned into a positive.
You're very proud of the success rate you have of kids who want to go play college baseball, that you will get them there and do anything. How proud are you of that? That if a kid comes to the program, does the work, you will get them into college if that's what they want.
My ultimate goal as a high school baseball coach is to see guys extend their baseball careers beyond the high school level. And in 22 years, 87% of our seniors have gone on and had the opportunity to play collegiate baseball.
Earlier this season, the Lebanon coach, Jared Sparks, he referred to your team as the Southwest Virginia All-Stars. The last couple of years, you've had some different kids transfer into the program. What do you say to people that you recruit players to come to Virginia High?
You can go back and ask any of them players that have came here that I've never went to recruit one. But I will say this, our whole coaching staff wants to build a program kids want to come be a part of. These are kids that have chose to move into our school district, number one, 100% eligible and legal to become a Bearcat. And I think it's worked out real well for them. And, you know, what are you supposed to say when a great player comes to you and wants to be a part of your program? No, that's not going to happen here.
Bryce Spears has waited patiently for his chance to start for the Union Bears. And now that the job is his, Spears has made the most of his opportunity.
Playing the quarterback position is tough, especially he's just a first-year starter there. He's been a backup for 2 years, and he's waited his turn, and he's took advantage of this situation.
He's good. He sees the field well, knows when to throw it, puts it right where it needs to be so we can catch it. It's just a great quarterback.
Something Spears showed off last Friday in the win over Eastside when he threw for 5 touchdown passes in the first quarter.
I knew that if we could just get the ball out to our playmakers, and the line always protects well, that we'd have a good night.
Just his work ethic, his leadership skills have gotten tremendously better as the year went on, and he's learning to fulfill the role as the quarterback and leader of this team, and the kids look up to him.
A team that has a lot of weapons, a quarterback's dream for sure.
It's great having 5 people to throw the ball to at any time and knowing that you can throw the ball 3 yards and they can take it 80. It's a great feeling.
Congratulations to Bryce Spears, this week's News 5 WCYB Player of the Week. In many ways, this afternoon's game between ETSU and Emory and Henry was a no-win situation for the Bucks. As a Division I FCS school, you're supposed to win over a Division III team. And if you lose, well, at least early on, it looked like that would be something the Bucks would not have to worry about. Crazy play here, second and goal. The snap goes off the hands of Austin Henrick and right to Juwan Stinson, who takes it in for the touchdown. Bucks up 7-0. Next ETSU possession, Henrick to Dalton Ponchella for the 56-yard catch. That's the longest offensive play of the season so far for the Bucks, and that led to another ETSU touchdown to make it 14-0. Back come the Wasps. Chris Edwards with the hard run up the middle from 14 yards out. That cuts ETSU's lead to 14-7. Second quarter, Emory and Henry goes into their bag of tricks. Kevin Saxton to Nick Webb, who throws it to Kelman Simpson for the touchdown. Game tied at 14. Fourth quarter we go. Emory and Henry up 20-17. Here comes ETSU. Henrick to Ponchella for the 45-yard touchdown. Bucks go back up 24-20. Just over 2 minutes left. ETSU going for it from midfield on 4th and 1. Emory and Henry's defense comes up with the play of the game, stuffs him. Now under a minute to go, Emory and Henry on the ETSU 7-yard line. Saxon finds Tyree Ward for the game-winning touchdown. Wasp head coach Kurt Newsom gets the Gatorade celebration as Emory and Henry knocks off ETSU 27-24. Saxon threw for 244 yards and that one big touchdown and led the Wasps to the win over the Bucks. With more from Johnson City, here's News 5 Wcyb Sports Director Casey Getz.
This game came down to a 4th and 1 near midfield. ETSU up by 3. They decide to go for it. Emory and Henry stops them, then they march down the field for the game-winning touchdown.
As a football team and where we are as a football program, we got to learn how to be able to make that. And again, if I had to do over right now, I'd go for it again. I mean, 4th down a foot, you've got to be able to do that in college football.
You made a great stand in there, and you never know about those spots. You get on those situations, but it came out in our favor.
We do it every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we go through 2 minutes. And I mean, we settled in just like it was practice. I mean, went through reads, just went through everything that we would normally do. I mean, you know, with the Lord above, I mean, he allowed us to get through that drive right there and get a touchdown at the end.
Biggest catch in Emory history?
I would say it's up there. Maybe not the big one, but it's up there. I hope so.
So ETSU now falls to 0-4 in the season. They're back in action here next Saturday against St. Francis. Meanwhile, Emory and Henry, they're now 2-1. They get ready for ODAC play next week. In Johnson City, Casey Getz, now back to you. Oak Hill Academy is used to playing a game every year in Bristol, but basketball fans in the Tri-Cities can see one of the country's best prep teams play 3 games this year. It's all part of the first annual Friendship Classic. Virginia High, the host school. The Bearcats, though, they drew Oak Hill in round 1. As you might imagine, this was all Oak Hill. Braxton Key, the steal and the slam. He's headed to Alabama. Here's the play of the night from Matt Coleman. Steal, spin move, and then he throws the alley-oop to Kadeem Sy, who's headed to Virginia Tech. Coleman to Sy. Worked once. They do it again here. It was all Oak Hill dunks in this one. Lindwell Wigginton all alone. Oak Hill beats Virginia High 108-32. The first game of the day was Lebanon and Evelyn Mack Academy out of North Carolina. The Wildcats, they were tough. Luke Mitchell pulls up, hits the 3. Then the smothering defense here off the steal. Quamon Nelson all alone. He finishes with just a little showtime here for the fans. Evelyn Mack led by 7. Lebanon tries to get back in the game. Will Stamper inside for 2, but it was not enough. Evelyn Mack rolls in the first game of the day, 77-44 over Lebanon.
Just one local team managed to survive the opening round of the Arby's Classic, which meant the others faced elimination this afternoon, with the exception of the loser of the first game, which was guaranteed one more game on New Year's Eve. The host, Tennessee High versus Gate City, and the Vikings have struggled in this tournament, but Garrett Cantrell continues to be strong. He gets the 2 here. Gate City, though, was tough in the paint. Nick Qualls gets the leaner to fall and the contact, and then it's Qualls putting it on the floor once and then weaving through traffic, getting the 2. Gate City wins 75-66. Dobbins Bennett fighting to stay alive in this morning's game against Mentor, and it was tough going for the Indians early. Off the inbounds play, the Cardinals moving it around and finding Pat Laver, who pump fakes it once and then gets the kiss off the glass. 11-0 run to start the game for Mentor. DB finally gets on the board off the nice look inside to Brandon Gilliam, but Mentor was too tough. Caden Cries drives to the hoop. He gets the basket and 1. Cardinals win 69-51. Union and Father Henry Carr in the first game of the afternoon. The Bears suffered their first loss of the season on Monday night. They hung with the boys from Canada early off. The miss Jake Barnett is there for the putback. The Crusaders, though, start to pull away. They kick out to Carlo Dobra, who drains the 3, and then it's John Akende getting behind the defense and getting the easy lay-in. Father Henry Carr wins 74-50. Last game of the early session, Christian Academy of Knoxville and Southern East, and this was a game of runs. East trailed by 10 in the first, but used a 26-1 run over a quarter and a half to take the lead. Hunter Owens buries the 3, and then it's a pretty pass inside to Cole Green for the lay-in. Patriots by 15, but then CAK had a run of its own, 18-2 to retake the lead. On the break, Isaiah Solik pulls up and buries the 3. The Warriors get the 64-56 victory.